Welcome to today's video. I've had a number of inquiries about doing a walk-around video of our new Jeep Wrangler Rubicon JL. So that's kind of what I'm going to do today, but I'm going to do it a little bit different than a usual vehicle walk-around video. I've had it for about 90 days now, and I've come to sort of get used to driving it. I've probably put 3,500 miles on it. It is my daily driver, and my background, at least with Jeeps, is with the JK versions. So I'm going to particularly focus on some things that are different about the new model from the JK, the prior model, and how the Jeep is going to fit into our Drive the Globe world with our Land Rover and the Unimod. So without further ado, let's just get to it, and I'll do some commentary as we go. And if you've got questions or any kind of feedback, leave them below, and I would love to answer anything that you guys are looking at, especially if you're particularly looking at potentially purchasing one of these. So let's get to it. All right, let's jump in and walk sort of around the outside of the vehicle first, picking up some of the styling cues that are different between this new JL model and the JK. To me, when the JL is driving down the road, it looks pretty darn similar to the JK. The things that you can pick out that are different are the air vents, the raked back windshield. The grille in the front lacks the Jeep emblem on it now because, hey, it obviously looks like a Jeep, right? Our truck is a sting gray color that was produced in pretty small numbers in 2018, so I don't know going forward whether it's going to be a color that you're going to see a lot of. I don't know. The other thing that Jeep did a pretty good job with is they made the truck lighter. And how did they do this? A lot more aluminum, in particular the doors that remove the way that they always have on Jeeps. It makes it a lot easier when you're taking the door off and hanging it up. They're way, way less heavy. The three-piece Freedom top is also a lot lighter. When you take off the panels that are above your head, you can maneuver them around a lot easier than the JK model. As we move to the front, you can see that Jeep's relocated the lighting up onto the fender. You can see our raised air intake, which is a Mopar bolt-on part. If you watch that video, if you're interested in doing that, I put that out a couple weeks ago. But in general, I think Jeep has done a pretty good job of sort of updating it without, ruining it, I guess. There's, little styling cues that they've changed. They put a little bit more aerodynamic into it, although, it's obviously not an aerodynamic vehicle, but more so than the past models. And, I think they did a good job on the outside. So the first aftermarket modifications that we did here on the Jeep was the Rough Country Stubby bumper. And with that bumper, we were able to put some LED lighting down below, the light bar up above, and it also acts, obviously, as the platform for our 9,500-pound Rough Country winch. Now, Rough Country has always kind of had a so-so reputation, I guess, in my opinion, but we were trying not to break the bank on this build-out. I have not really had a chance to test it out too much off-road yet, so we'll have to see. Stock Rubicons, they come with 33-inch tires. We wanted to upgrade to 37, so you can see here we put on a set of fuel wheels with the 37-inch Toyo rubber. All right, going back to the rear of the vehicle, you can see that Smitty-built bumper I was talking about. The LED tail lighting. And sort of talking about new modern amenities, Jeep put a rear backup camera and mounted it in the middle of the spare tire. Be sure to watch our video on the mounting of the Smitty-built SRC rear bumper. That actually was a bolt-on piece component that went on fairly easily. You can see the little holes there for backup sensors. I have not done the install on that quite yet, and the LED lighting that's mounted inside the bumper. But the bumper is a really rugged piece. All right, let's take a look underneath now, and you can see the suspension, the Rough Country steering stabilizer. One of the things I think you're going to notice, and a complaint that I have with the current JL that I kind of had with the old JK as well, for a Rubicon, you would think that there would be more armor protection underneath. So that is definitely something that I'm going to be doing in the future. I have not chosen which brand I'm going to go with. There's a couple different ones that are making them out there. But as you can see, there's so many little gaps and things to catch rocks on. And some of the, those, I'm going to call them cross pieces kind of, they've got holes in them and all sorts of things where sticks and everything else can get stuck in. So that's something I'll be looking at. Also on the JL now, the Dana axles have been upgraded. They're the Dana 44s with the 4-to-1 ratio. So continuing to view underneath, you can see the extension for the 2.5-inch lift there and the upgraded shocks. All right, I put the Jeep up on the stone wall so you can get a little bit of better view underneath here. One of the things that Jeep changed is they put a hydroelectric power steering pump in. You can see the steering stabilizer there. This seems to cause some wandering on the highway, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. But I swear it's as bad as a 1965 Land Rover, and that is something that needs to get fixed. All right, let's pop open the hood, and you're going to find under there the very familiar 3.6-liter engine that Jeep Chrysler has used in a number of vehicles, and they've used it in the Jeep for years. Supposedly for this year, the JL, it's saying that it's 6% more efficient. The gas mileage on the sticker says 20 miles a gallon combined. I don't know. I haven't really checked it out too much yet. That's an upgraded 240 amp alternator as well. And my pet peeve award goes to these very slick looking vents on the hood. They look really cool. They're fake. I don't get it. All right, let's go inside the vehicle and start with the cargo area. One of the little touches that Jeep puts all around the truck I find kind of interesting is they put a little plate on the rear with the fording depth and the dimensions of the truck, so kind of neat. Inside the cargo area, you'll find a little 12-volt outlet, which is going to be perfect for a fridge. The subwoofer has been relocated from what I was used to in the JK, and it's kind of out of the way. But one of the coolest things I think was upgraded in this version is that the roll cage is body painted the same color. They kind of got rid of all that foam padding that was in the older models that was kind of never sat right. You can see a different view here. And then inside of the roll cage, they've mounted the lighting, and you can see as I zoom around here a little bit, the speakers are inside there, and I think they did a pretty good job of making it all nice and integrated looking. Heading into the back seat, Jeep improved the way that the mechanism, I think, works for the rear seats, how they fold down. You basically just pop a button there, the headrest flops down, you pull the seat down, and the cargo area folds fairly flat, which is a nice feature for fitting more stuff in the back. All right, as I take the camera around in here a little bit, what I want you guys to pick up on is the thing that impresses me most about the JL model, particularly in the Rubicon edition here, is the fit and finish of the interior is a marked improvement, I think, over previous Jeep models. The surface textures, just the way everything is put together. Nice feature is this 115-volt power outlet for plugging things in the back. You also, above it, have USB plug-ins here. There's also plug-ins in the front and in the center console, so there's ample amount of stuff to plug in. Your roll-up window controls are there for the back windows. One of the things you might have picked up on already is, yes, I have custom seats. They are custom leather with red stitching, Ozark Mountain Edition. It was done by a company called Motor Cars International in Springfield, Missouri, so this is not factory option, and I gotta say, I love the seats. All right, let's head into the command center of the Jeep. This is where the action happens. And once again, I'm going to focus on the fit and the finish, the modern amenities. It's an all-new interior for 2018 JL. Nothing is a holdover from prior models. Jeep enthusiasts probably are moaning and groaning that the interior is a little bit too car-like. I personally think that they kept it still with a fairly rugged-looking theme, big, thick gear shift knobs and the like. But it does have the creature comforts that I'm used to. I'm coming off of driving a Range Rover Sport for the last 3 years under a lease, and I got to say, some of the features inside the new JL are similar. And in some cases, actually, I got to say the Uconnect system and the electronic part of it is actually better than the Land Rover product. I'm a little unsure why Jeep picked red as the kind of color for the dash. I think you can get it in red, gray, and something else, but I got to say I like it. Random, I suppose. Jeep's ode to the old days. You can see on the gear shift knob and the glass on the window. Glove box is kind of a holdover to prior models. Not much has changed there. They give you a little package here with your manuals in it, but not much is learned from the manuals. You really got to go on to the Uconnect system. Here's the connections for USB I was talking about earlier on the center console. Heated steering wheel, heated seats, all the modern amenities you would expect. And credit to Jeep for actually giving you buttons to push to be able to turn them on. Many cars nowadays you got to hunt and peck through the digital controls to be able to find the stuff. So the command hub, if you will, is this 8.4-inch Uconnect digital system. This is where you find your satellite radio, your backup cam, your climate control, all the apps that are a part of it. Included in the apps are the off-road pages, which I find to be kind of interesting, actually. You can look at different gauges that you don't have on the dashboard to monitor temperatures. You got your pitch and roll. It comes with a whole assortment of apps, travel link, fuel prices. You can check the weather. You can even get weather maps. So all of this comes obviously through the Sirius XM package. But very convenient, very easy to use. In general, I think it's a really good system. Center console opens up in the middle. You can see there's two different positions for that. Inside the console, you once again have another USB outlet, LED light in there to light it up at nighttime. So what don't I like inside? It does not have auto wipers. That kind of irritates me. It has a sort of a toggle where you got to set the speed. It's multi-adjustable, but it's a little quirky. The other thing I don't like is in lighting conditions going from light to dark or dark to light, the dash lights don't seem to get it quite right. They're always dimming at the wrong time. That's also a little bit annoying. It's got vanity mirrors on both sides, as you would expect in a modern car. The door handles have been upgraded. The power switches are upgraded. The doors are much lighter. I think I mentioned that earlier. So taking them off and hanging them in the garage, inevitably in the summertime, has become a much easier project. Inside, you've got some nice beefy grab handles to get in and out of the Jeep. So focusing on the lower dash, this is where you're going to find your front and rear locking axles. Next to that is the button for the disconnect for the sway bar. And you can see Jeep has included 4 auxiliary switches where you can hook anything to. I've chosen so far to hook up the first 2 for the LED lighting on the front of the vehicle, and I'll probably use the other ones for some of the lighting on the rear. So that's kind of the brief walk around of the new Jeep Rubicon JL. I've put it back here on my stone wall to show you sort of the articulation of what I've got set up right now with the 37-inch tires and the 2.5-inch lift kit. The tire on the left rear is stuffed pretty good, so I'm not completely convinced that this setup is going to last for the long term with me, but I haven't done enough trail testing to really tell. You can see right here the wheel on the rear is pretty dropped, pretty close to towards the end of where the travel is going to be, but the one on the other side is stuffed in there pretty good. It's starting to rub on the top. So that concludes our brief walk around of the Wrangler Rubicon JL. Our Drive the Globe truck, hopefully in the future, is going to be heading out to a bunch of different events. And we're going to probably use it mostly for when we want to get somewhere a lot faster than we can get with the Unimog and the Expedition trailer. Downsides, I think, really are getting some armor underneath it and getting to figure out why it wanders so much on the road. Looking into what we could do about the steering. That's sort of the negatives. The positives, I don't think you can get a more off-road capable vehicle from the factory from any other vehicle. And 2, I think Jeep stayed true to the tradition and their heritage. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching this video. If you like what we're doing, be sure to subscribe to our channel by clicking on the truck and tree symbol to your right. Once again, thanks and hope to see you soon.